I welcome the students for the online series of lecture. Today I am going to explain in detail about the First World War, the causes for the First World War, the course and the result. So the First World War is very important in the world history because more than two countries have joined together and the world got divided into two major groups. One side the Allied forces and the other side the Central Powers. So the countries which was supporting Germany on one side and the countries which was supporting Britain on the other side. This was the most destructive war in the world history, we can see, because many people they lost their life and many people they were injured, and this particular war it brought the economic condition of the world to a very poor state. So the only country which got benefited during this First World War is the United States of America. It was during this time only that America became a superpower country. So the First World War is otherwise called as the Great War. So why it is called as a Great War? Because both the sides, the Allied sides as well as the Central Power countries, if you see, more than many countries were involved. So the whole, for example, if you see, the whole world was involved in this particular war because many countries were colonies to Britain and many countries were under the control of Austria, Germany and Hungary also. That is why this particular war is called as a Great War. So even in the question paper, they might ask, write in detail about the Great War. They won't mention the First World War. So instead of asking First World War, they will ask, write in detail about the Great War. So you should know what is the First World War. The other name for First World War is the Great War. So the First World War was fought between 1914 to 1918. The duration of the First World War is for 4 years it was fought. So one side it is the Allied powers and the other side is the Central Powers. The Allied powers countries are France, Russia and Great Britain. These three countries are called as the Allied powers, and the Central Power countries are Germany, Austria, Hungary, and later on if you see Ottoman Empire countries also joined this particular Central Power side. So this war was fought from 28th July 1914 to 11th November 1918. So in this particular war, if you see, they used modern military technologies like the first time they invented aircrafts. So the aircraft they were fighting on land, on sea and even in air. So modern technologies were used. They used trench warfare and they used a lot of weapons like guns were all, that is tanks and poisonous gas were also used in this particular warfare. So here if you see Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan and United States. Later on many countries joined. The combined countries are called as the Allied powers, and in the Central Powers if you see Austria, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria and Ottoman Empire. So these are the two major groups if you see, the Central Powers and the Allied powers. So you should know the difference between the two major groups. You should be very confident what were all the Central Power countries and what were the Allied Power countries. So United States also joined the Allied Power in the year 1917 it joined, and in the year 1918 the First World War came to an end. So as I already explained, the trench warfare is they will dig a hole on the earth and the soldiers they used to hide in between. Here the soldiers will hide and they will see whether the enemies are coming, and only the guns will be visible here. So the people from far away, they won't be knowing whether the people are, that is the army is coming. So all of a sudden the people they might attack in the trench warfare. So this was a new technique used in the First World War, and they also used aircrafts, Wright brothers, they invented the aircraft, and Germany and Britain, they used aircraft, and they attacked the countries through airways also. These are the tanks which was used by both the Allied powers as well as the Central powers, and they also used poisonous gas, and they also fought in the sea warfare. So in the sea warfare, if you see, they used underground U-boats were used, where the enemies, they cannot see, but because the U-boats are the submarines, they will travel under the sea, and all of a sudden they can attack the enemy ships. So these are some of the techniques which was used in the First World War. So let us see the causes for the First World War. So the major cause for the First World War is nationalism, imperialism. So what do you mean by nationalism? Nationalism is one's own love to their own country. That's what. So this particular war was fought on 1914 to 1918. In this period only, if you see, in Indian history, in 1914, the national movement started. That is the freedom struggle. It is called as the Gandhian era. So all over the world, if you see, the spirit of nationalism was high. They don't want to come under the control of the other countries. So the spirit of nationalism, that is Britain, they wanted to have control over many countries. So all the countries which was under the control of the superior power, they were fighting for their independence. So the spirit of nationalism was high during this particular period. So they want independence. So that was one of the reasons why the countries, they joined the Central powers as well as the Allied powers. The second reason is imperialism. What do you mean by imperialism? Imperialism is the higher power, that is the powerful country having control over the lesser power countries. So the big powers, like for example, I wanted to take India as an example because you'll be more aware about India. So India was under the control of many European rulers. So it was the British who came to India for trade in the year 1600, and later on they brought the whole of India under their control. So not only India, many Asian countries were under the control of Britain. So the higher power, that is, they wanted the smaller countries to bring under their control for their economic development. So for example, Britain, France, Germany, these countries, they wanted to sell their finished goods to the occupied countries. So there was a race for occupying countries. Germany also wanted more countries to bring under its control, as well as Britain, France. They also tried to bring many countries, poor countries, under their control. So there was a race of imperialism among both the Central powers as well as the Allied powers. So the next reason is militarism. So when there was a race to bring those countries under the control, these countries, the powerful countries like Britain, France, and even Germany, Austria, Hungary, if you see, they produced many weapons because to have a control of other countries, they should be more powerful in military. So there was an arms race. Arms race was there. The people, they were producing many weapons and they were selling in the market. So there was a arms race, where many arms were developed in this particular period. So nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and the next one is the secret alliances. So in the year 1907, if you see, the Europe got divided into two groups, as I already said, the Allied powers and the Central powers. So they entered into a secret alliance called as Triple Entente and Triple Alliance. So Triple Alliance countries and Triple Entente, these are the two great secret alliances which was formed in the year 1907. The First World War took place in the year 1914. So can you see the duration? It is more than 7 to 8 years they were operating secretly. So now I'd like to show you the world map, how the different, I said, no, imperialism. So under imperialism, if you see, many countries were brought under the control of Britain. For example, if you take Great Britain, they were having control. These are the pink colors where it was under the control of Britain. So many countries, like all over the world, if you see, the colonies, they were having control over the world countries. The purple color, France, this is France, the countries under the French control. And if you see the Netherlands, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and the blue are United States. So to just have a rough view to show you how the world countries have, especially Britain, France, Germany, they were having control over the world countries. In the map, if you see, this is Britain. Britain is such a small country. See, they were having control over the world countries. So you can have an idea how the world were brought under the control of Britain, France, and the powerful countries. And this is France. This is France. So this country is France, and this is Britain, and this is Germany. So such a small country among the world, if you see, they were having the whole world under their control. So in the year 1907, if you see, in the year 1907, military alliance, or it can also be called as secret alliance. So the two groups, that is triple alliance and triple entity. So first it was the triple alliance was formed in the year 1882. It was formed by Germany, and it was during this time Italy, Austria-Hungary were the three countries. Triple means three. So three countries. Austria-Hungary is a single country. So Germany, Italy, and Austria-Hungary, these three countries joined together and they formed the Triple Alliance in the year 1882. So when Britain came to know that secretly Germany is having an alliance with these three countries, so Britain requested France and Russia to join, and they formed into a secret alliance called as Triple Entity. This alliance was formed against Triple Alliance because the major reason to form Triple Alliance is Germany wanted help from the neighboring countries. In case if there is an attack from Britain, France or Russia, for Germany, Italy and Austria, they have to come for help. By chance, if there is any problem among the other countries to Italy or Austria-Hungary, Germany will go for help. This was a mutual agreement between the countries for the military support. So the same way in the year 1907, if you see, Britain, France and Russia also entered into an agreement called as the Triple Entity Agreement. This is how. In later stage, Italy, it withdrew from Triple Alliance and it joined Triple Entity. In this particular map, if you see, this is Great Britain, and here is Germany and France. So these are the Triple Entity countries and these are the Triple Alliance countries. All these three countries, if you see, they are Triple Alliance countries. So initially, Italy joined Germany. But later on what happened, Britain had a secret meeting with Italy and it was requesting Italy not to join Germany because always Germany and Austria-Hungary, they were very close, and the people in Germany were living in Austria and even many of them, they were living in Austria, and same way Austria was also fully confident and it was more close to Germany compared to Italy. And Italy and Austria-Hungary, they had a border issue. This is Italy. So they were having a border issue with Austria and Hungary. So that is why Britain requested Italy not to join this particular alliance. So Italy withdrew the alliance and it came and joined the Triple Entity. And here we have just marked the important places where the First World War took place. These are some of the places where different places the war was simultaneously happening. So that is why it is called as the Great War. So these places, Battle of Marne, and then near Netherlands, Belgium, and near Italy and Austria there was one place, and here Allied forces were fighting with the Ottoman Empire, and this is also a major place they were fighting. These are the different war fronts where in the war on the sea, it is called as the Jutland. So these are the different places where the First World War is happening simultaneously, that we will see what are the different battles were fought. And here some of the countries are neutral countries. So see these orange here, if you see, the orange countries are the Central Powers and the purple countries are the Allied Powers. So these countries were fighting against, the purple was fighting against the yellow countries, you can see. And these light whitish yellow are the neutral countries where they did not involve in the war. They did not involve. So only these countries were fighting in the First World War. So this is the why the Triple Alliance and entity was formed. Germany, according to the Triple Alliance, Germany had an agreement with Austria-Hungary to support, and France had an agreement according to the entity, triple entity, to support Russia. That is why this particular war, based on the Triple Alliance, it was started. I explained in the previous slide the reasons for the First World War. Is militarism, secret alliance, nationalism, imperialism. These are the causes which I already explained. Now we have to see what was the immediate cause. Why this particular war happened on that particular day. The immediate cause for the First World War is the murder of the Archduke Ferdinand. So the Austrian prince, he wanted to have a friendly visit to Serbia. Serbia is a neighboring country. So the previous map I just showed you where the countries are. So next Serbia was under the control of Austria and Hungary. So the feeling of nationalism, I told you, the feeling of nationalism. So this nationalism feeling, the Serbians, they did not like to be ruled by Austria and Hungary. So that was the major reason why when the Austrian prince came to Serbia, a nationalist group called as Black Hand, he murdered the prince, Archduke Ferdinand, and his wife Sophie was murdered. And this was the incident. They were murdered, and on 20 July 1914, 1 year before, one month before. So immediately Austria blamed Serbia for the murder. But actually Serbia was not aware of this particular thing, because this was a nationalist group, a terrorist, extremist group was involved. So Austria requested Serbia to take the responsibility of this murder, but Serbia refused to take the responsibility. So Austria declared war on Serbia regarding the murder of the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand. This was the immediate cause for the First World War. The previous slide I just showed you, the war was fought on the different fronts I told. So here, the Allied side, if you see, Serbia, Russia. First, when Serbia was declared war, Austria declared war on Serbia. So immediately when Austria declared war on Serbia, Russia came to help Serbia. So when Russia was involved, the triple entity countries, the Britain, France, USA, and the other countries also involved itself in the First World War. And when Austria declared war on Serbia, to help Austria, Germany joined. And I said already, Italy, it left the war in the between, and then Turkey and Bulgaria, other countries also joined. The war was fought on different sides, I said. The war on the western side, the war with Britain and Germany is called as the western side warfare. And on the eastern side, if you see, on the Russia side, the Battle of Tannenberg, the Allied forces, the the Central Forces were fighting against Russia. That is called as the War on the Eastern Front and Tannenberg. And then here's the War on Sea. It is called as the Battle of Jutland. And here 2 times the war was fought in the Battle of Marne, that is with Germany and Britain. In the second Battle of Marne, if you see, in the year 1918, German forces were defeated by the combined forces of Britain and US. So the war came to an end. So why USA it entered the war? The reason why USA entered the war, as I said, USA, United States of America, it was a neutral country in the beginning when the war started in the year 1914. But later on in the year 1915, if you see, the German U-boat, that is the submarine which was under the sea, the ships which travel underground, they attacked the passenger ship. They attacked the passenger ship. The passenger ship was traveling from US to Britain. So in the year 1915, German submarines, the ships which travels under the sea are called as, the other way it is called as the U-boat. They attacked the American ship. In this particular incident, if you see, nearly 1,198 people were killed, including the US citizens. So this particular incident made United States to enter into the First World War. This incident is called as the Lusitania incident because the ship called Lusitania was attacked. So this incident in the First World War is called as the Lusitania incident. So why United States of America entered the First World War? This was the major reason. This particular incident was also published in the paper during the time in the year 1917. It was published where the world came to know the Germans attacked America. This, if you see, Germany was defeated in the Battle of Marne. If you see the Battle of Marne, they were defeated and there was heavy loss for Germany. And the world countries made Germany responsible for this particular war. They said it was the Germany who created the First World War and heavy laws were imposed and Germany was forced to pay huge amount as war indemnity. Most of the countries which was belonging to Germany was taken away by the Allied powers. The big 4 countries which dominated the end of the war is France, Britain, United States and Italy. So these are the 4 great countries which was dominating after the end of the war. The 4 great leaders, Clemenceau from France, Lloyd George from Britain, Woodrow Wilson from United States and Orlando. These are the great 4 personalities. This is Woodrow Wilson from United States and George Clemenceau from France and Lloyd George from Great Britain and Italy, Orlando from Italy. These are the 4 great personalities who dominated that is the end of the war. The world was dominated by the big 4 countries. This is called as the big 4 countries. And the defeated countries' fate was decided by these 4 great personalities. This particular war, if you see, how many in the First World War, nearly total number of troops involved in this particular war, if you see, nearly 6,50,38,810 people all over the world. You see, the people were involved in this particular war, and nearly 85 lakh people they died in this particular war, and 2,12,00,000, that is 19,452 people were wounded, and nearly 77 lakh people were missing. There was no trace of those people. So this big 4 countries, that is France, Britain, USA and Italy. These are the 4 countries which were dominating all the 4 treaties. The defeated countries like Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria and Italy, they were forced to sign the peace agreement with the big 4 countries. The agreement with Germany is called as the Treaty of Versailles, otherwise is called as the Paris. And then the treaty with Austria, it is called as Treaty of Saint-Germain, and with Hungary, the Treaty of Trianon, and with Bulgaria, Neville, and the treaty with Turkey is called as the Treaty of Sevres. And each, this is a separate topic which we will be explaining in a different online session. Consequences of the war, if you see, the rule of the kingship rule came to an end. Nearly 1 crore people, they lost their life. All over the world, there was unemployment problem was there, famine was there, and epidemic everywhere, diseases spread, and United States of America, it evolved as a superpower. And now how we are facing the pandemic situation, the same way at the end of the war, if you see, in the year 1980, there was a pandemic. The people suffered, nearly 25% of the people, they suffered the epidemic flu, a different type of flu. It spread all over the world. And see, you can see how we are wearing the face mask. The same way the people in the year 1918 also, they were having the epidemic. The disease was spreading all over, and it is called as the Spanish flu. It started first in Spain and it spread to everywhere, and it disappeared in the year 1919. Within a year, if you see, nearly so many people in America, they disappeared. So this was 30 million people were killed all over the world. The same situation how we are facing today. This situation was there in those. In the year 1917, if you see, the Russia withdrew the First World War, and it was during this time only America, it entered. The reason why Russia withdrew from the war is there was a revolution in Russia. That is why Russia was not able to concentrate in the war. The Tsar Nicholas rule came to an end, and in Russia, if you see, the Bolsheviks group, the workers group, it captured the power, and a new type of group started evolving in Russia, and Russia was withdrew itself from the war in the year 1917. Before the war, see, these pink color countries are the Central. Such a big country, and how they reduced after the war. If you see, many places belonging to Germany was taken away by different treaties. I already explained. So this is what a few countries, new countries were created, like the First World War. If you see, Poland was created, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, some of the new countries came into being. So they divided, they broke the this is Central Power countries into a smaller countries, and the big 4 countries, they brought many countries under their control. So the end of the war, if you see, Woodrow Wilson, he started the League of Nations, was started in the year 1918. It was started. The major reason to start this League of Nations is to maintain the world peace. Based on the Woodrow Wilson's 14 points, it was started. And though many efforts were taken, but still, the reason where the Treaty of Versailles, the treaty signed between Germany and the big 4 countries, Germany was ill-treated in this particular treaty, and this paved way for the Second World War. So which started in the year 1939 to 45. The Second World War was fought. That we will see it in another online video class. Thank you very much.